Right before we jump into this video, if you'd like me to send you a free guide to capturing motion in low-light situations, just look for this orange box over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, put your name, email address in it, hit send it. I'm going to send you that guide for free. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com here with another exclusive first look of something from Nikon. This time, it's a 400mm f4.5 VRS Z lens. Now this isn't even announced yet, and we got a hands-on preview that we're not allowed to tell you very much about. But what I am allowed to do is show you sample images, but I can't zoom in on them, I can't show you the metadata, but I can talk about my real-world experience taking it out to the Philadelphia Phillies to use it in a real-world situation. Now at the end of this video, there's going to be a slideshow of my favorite images from this shoot, and we're also going to compare a 4.5 to a 2.8 in similar areas at the Philadelphia Phillies, so you can see the difference between a 4.5 and a 2.8. Honestly, that's what I wanted to see. Is there a major difference between a 2.8 and a 4.5? Now, I can't tell you price, I can't tell you specs, I can't tell you a lot, but I don't really care about the specs. All I really care about is, are the images good? What do they look like? And the difference between the 2.8 and the 4.5. Now let's take a look at the lens itself. So here it is. It is light, it is balanced. I'm not allowed to tell you the weight, and I'm not allowed to tell you when it's going to be announced, or I'm not allowed to also tell you how much it's going to cost, but it's going to be significantly less than a 400 2.8 because it's a 4.5. Now it is nice and balanced in the hands. My first thought was, why would you want this when you can have a 100 to 400 zoom? And when I pick this up, it feels heavier. And in my opinion, the 4.5 is lighter at 400 than the 100 to 400. It also feels a heck of a lot more balanced. Now, the first thing I did with the 400 4.5 when I got it and took it out of the box, other than sniff it, was take off the lens collar. It's not even a lens collar, it's just the lens foot right here. You do not need a monopod with this lens. I don't care, Steven, I'm gonna throw it. I wanted to throw it, I was gonna put it nicely down below, but I decided to throw it. You do not need to put this on a monopod. It is that light. I don't care who you are, you should be able to handhold this without a problem. All right, switches on the side of the lens. You've got your A to M, you've got your full and limit. You do not have VR switches on here. That's in the body of the camera. I used the Nikon Z9 because that's what I've been using to shoot sports. It's a fantastic sports camera. I mean, it is the flagship from Nikon, so you really don't have much of a choice beyond that because you're not really gonna take the Z6 or the Z7s out to the field. That doesn't mean that you can't use this with a Z6 and Z7 for birding, for sports, for whatever your needs might be, but in this situation, the Z9 was the right choice for me to take out to the field. Now, one thing you'll notice, it does not say that it's a PF lens. Usually the PF lenses say PF right here. This does not. Now, is that a big deal? No, because it's light and it already feels like a PF lens. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to travel with for a 400. The difference between this and a 400 2.8 is substantial in size and weight, of course, because it's a 2.8 with a built-in TC, and also because of the price. This is going to be significantly less, and I think when they announce the price, a lot of people are going to pre-order this because if you can't afford a 400 2.8, this is going to be a nice option to have because of the price as well as the quality. Now, before we get into the images, this is your lens hood. You can see that it is different than the one from the 100 to 400. That's more of a pedal style design. This has a nice rubber ring on the outside. In terms of filter thread, you've got 95 millimeters. On the end of the lens, it says Nikon Z 400 2.8 4.5 S VR, and it's the S line lens. That it says right here. here. So S lines is considered to be superior. I don't know where they came up with that. I still think it should have a gold ring, or in Nikon's case, a yellow ring, but that's just my opinion, and that is that. Another thing you don't find on this lens is an OLED display. I'm glad they don't have the OLED display because you could probably save some money by not having it. Now, let's jump out to the Phillies game where I shot from all around. I had the third base dugout side where I could shoot the batters, the fielders. Then I moved to the inside shooting well so I can get a nice tight shot of a batter swinging at 400. And then I ended up on the first base side so I could switch up my angles. But let's take a look at some of the images. I'm not allowed to zoom in, so I won't zoom in. But the colors and clarity that I got off of the Z9 are fantastic. I always say it, the files look great and they punch right up when I use a modified form of preset from FroPak One called Skittles, as I always talk about. My main thing is look at the background. Is the background distracting to you? And I was curious to see if 4.5 was going to be enough to separate the subject from the background, or would it be a distraction? Because when you're at 5.6 or 6.3 or 7.1, the backgrounds start to just become a distraction because everybody's in focus and it just doesn't separate the subject from the background, which makes it look less professional. But when I was editing these in the computer, I was like, I don't think these backgrounds are that distracting. And that's a good thing. So we've got the picture, and you're gonna see a side-by-side between 2.8 and 4.5 in just a second. Let me jump in here real quick because I wanna show you this picture taken with the 400 4.5 and edited with FroPak 3, starting with Fifth Element. That looks really good. Then we've got Almost Famous, which gives it a really unique look. Then Capone, which pulls out a bunch of the color but still looks great. We've got Eckert, King Contrast, Prestige Worldwide, and then I'm gonna scroll up here to FroPak One because I wanna show you Skittles, which I'm gonna tweak ever so slightly. So one click, a couple of tweaks, and bam, we have a great file. So look, if you're looking to speed up your raw workflow on your computer or mobily, we created 15 custom Lightroom presets that you can check out right now at FroKnowsPhoto.com/FroPak3. While you're over there, you can play with the sliders to see the befores and the afters. And if you decide to pick them up right now, they are currently on sale. And if you want to save even more, you can get the triple play bundle, which has FroPak 1, 2, and 3. So now, let's get back to the video. This is Bryce Harper batting. Again, color's good. Next, we've got to play at third base. It's never easy with baseball to know where anything's gonna happen, so you gotta focus on a specific player and hope the ball is hit, and then react and hope that the autofocus nails it where you need to nail it, and you hope that you get the shot. In this case, we've got a player diving. It would have been better if he was diving towards me, but this is what we got. And even the scoreboards or the backgrounds, not distracting at all. The bokeh looks really nice in terms of just being blown out. I don't care about anybody talking about cat's eye or any of this footballing or anything else. I don't care about any of that. It looks good to me. Now, moving on, I went to the inside position. Here's a shot of what that inside position looks like. You can see that two photographers can sit here. Now, it was a cloudy, overcast day. I'm not allowed to show you the settings of these pictures for some reason, but everything is within the normal realm of shooting. The difference between 4.5 and 2.8 is basically a stop, and the cameras can handle that one-stop difference, whether it's at night or whether it's in the day, because the Z9 is capable of shooting at much higher ISOs and still being cleaner. I like the separation here. It does look really good, and it doesn't look distracting of the pitcher in his windup right here. Now, the next shot right here is a tighter shot of a batter swinging from that inside position. This is filling the frame as much as possible, no cropping at all, and look at that background. It is obliterated without an issue at all. Now, going down the line, we've got a nice play of Schwarber running the first base. You can see that it's raining. There's some dirt flying. The colors look fantastic. The focus speed was spot on. With the Z9, it is super fast. You don't realize that the focusing is happening, and then that's just like every other system at this point. Now, with the Z9, I've noticed regardless of what lens you use, whether it's the 400 2.8 or the 400 4.5, this is not a lens lens thing that I'm about to say. It's more of a Z9 thing. There's images that you get of the picture and you're like, wow, that's the sharpest thing ever. Or the batter behind the batter batting and you're like, whoa, that eye is super sharp. And then occasionally you look and you're like, the next image or a different series of images, you're like, that just seems like it missed just ever so slightly. That's more a body thing, and I've noticed that with the Z9. It's not a lens thing. I just want to repeat that. It's not a lens thing. It is the Z9. But like I said, you can get fantastic results with it that are so sharp that it feels like you're gonna slice your finger off. Now, I just wanted to show you this image because Bryce Harper, who hits a ton of home runs, decided to lay down a bunt, and I was right on him at 20 frames a second to get this shot. Colors, separation, clarity, everything looks absolutely fantastic. And to round out these sample images, and remember, you're gonna get to see a slideshow at the end of this. I can't share those images with you now because this is a pre-production lens, as I've said, and we can't zoom in, but you can see that when it's a subject that's further away from you, you're gonna end up with a background that is more in focus. When a subject is super close to you, it's gonna be better because they're closer, and that the separation from the background is totally gonna blow out because it's deeper. Now, what I care about is seeing 4.5 versus 2.8, because I was like, well, 4.5 looks really good. What's 2.8 look like? This is what it looks like. Same position on the third base side, showing you the pictures here. You can see at 2.8 the obliteration of the background. The people go into more of a blurry state versus 4.5. Now, of course, would you want to have a 2.8 if you want to lug it around and you want to spend a lot more money? And I'm talking a lot more money. It's like you got to back the money truck up in order to get a 400 2.8, and you're not really going to have to back the money truck up to get this. Can't tell you the exact price, but I think a lot of people are going to be really happy with the value and price of this lens. Just two more samples. We got Bryce Harper at bat right here. You can see the background. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. 4.5 versus 2.8. And then the last one, you've got the batters right at home plate, super tight. We got Yelich breaking the bat, and we've got the other guy, and you can see not as much of a difference when you're closer to the subject. Now, the last thing that I want to do is give it a sniff test. Pre-production, I'm not allowed to give it a sniff test, but when we do a review of this lens, we'll give it a sniff test. At the end of the day, I like the images that I got. Being able to lug around a 400 4.5 when you travel versus a 400 2.8, the weight difference alone and price difference is a lot. And I was happy with what I got with the 4.5. And I think Nikon is doing a great job compared to Sony and Canon, putting out less expensive, but higher end, less expensive lenses. You've got your 800 6.3, you have your 400 4.5. They're doing a really nice job with that because this is your birding lens, even though I think it's a little short for that. I think you would want to do it a little longer than that, but it's a very nice lens to have. And the last thing that I will say is, of course, with the price difference, I think Nikon is going to sell a ton of these to sports shooters because it's good enough, right? 4.5 versus 2.8, you see the side-by-sides. Yeah, I love the 2.8, but when you look at the 4.5, for the usage that people are gonna be using this for, I don't think you're gonna have an issue whatsoever. So again, this is just a exclusive preview. Can't zoom in, can't show you the specs, can't do a lot with it, but I think all that matters is you saw the results in the real world. Any questions that you have, leave them down below. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. That's where I'm gonna leave it. Jared, Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.